What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy J.O. Welcome to another validated prison stories. Before we get into the video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe and bell notification. That way you'll be notified when I drop some more content. Before we get into this video, I just want to apologize to my subscribers. It's been a minute since I did a video. Unfortunately, I had some family emergency come up this past week. And so I haven't been able to sit down and make a video in a while. I came down. I'm in Kansas right now. My mother. I got a phone call from my sister on not this past Sunday, but Sunday before, talking about how my mom was unresponsive and it was, it wasn't looking good. And that's what this video is going to be about: is the loss of family while incarcerated. Man, it was, I flew down here, and anybody that knows me knows I hate to fly. Hate it. I flew down here, I got to the hospital, and I wasn't prepared for what I saw. You know what I mean? I really wasn't. And I don't think anybody really can get prepared for a situation like that with their parents or with anybody that they're really close to. However, like I said, I was very fortunate enough not to lose anybody while incarcerated that I was really extremely close to. I did lose a couple family members, and even my first time down, I was in work release when my great-grandmother passed away. Now, yeah, that was difficult and that was hard. That was my great-grandmother, and her and I were close, but it had been a while, you know what I mean? I had been gone for a while, and she was older, so you don't ever, the term, it was an expected death is kind of a messed up term, because you're not really ever expecting someone to die, but as they get older and they get up there in age, you come to accept it a little bit more, at least for me anyways. Now, I've been locked up with individuals that's lost moms, brothers, sisters, even spouses, and even children, you know what I mean? And that is a very difficult situation to be around. And as an inmate, you don't really have the words there's no right words to tell somebody when they are going through a situation like that. You know what I mean? What do you say to that, So I had a guest on here, my first interview, and he lost his mom, and that's just such a horrible thing. In the state of Washington, if you're incarcerated in the Washington State Department of Corrections, now it depends on where you're at in the state and where you're going. And I believe I had a guy I was locked up with. He lost his mom and his grandmother. He went to his grandmother's funeral. He was in Walla Walla, which is on the east side of Washington, and he had to go over to like Tacoma area. I believe it was on the west side though of Washington, and I think he had to pay like $1,000 to DOC. He went with two armed correctional officers, and they took him over there, and he got to be there, with his grandmother. And so there are ways that you can go. At the time, he was minimum custody. Like I said, for me personally, I never experienced it, so I don't know exactly all the ins and outs about it. But I know in Washington State, if you have money and you have all the documentation and you have somebody on the streets that's, calling and pushing for all this to get done, you can make it happen. Now, if you're an indigent inmate with nobody out there but your mama who loves and cares about you and she dies, you're not going to to that funeral. You know what I mean? Unless you have somebody out there that's going to really push for you to get you there. And like I said, paying the money, making the phone calls, and that stuff. So losing somebody is always a hard pill to swallow. It's always a difficult situation to go through. But losing somebody while you're incarcerated, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. There's absolutely no way for you to be there. Think about that, and think about how that can mess with somebody's psyche. You know what I mean? Not just on a short-term basis, but on a long-term basis. You know, I think about how it will definitely impact a person immediately and the very in the coming weeks and months ahead. But when they get out and then they turn to the bottle or weed or pills or heroin or meth or whatever the drug of choice that they have, and they start self-medicating because they have feelings of guilt and shame and anger and confusion and all these different emotions and feelings that people deal with and process. Think about those feelings, you know what I mean? And think about having to deal with that in prison, getting out, and then self-medicating because you're trying to numb yourself. You know what I mean? That's part of the behavior. And it's sad that there's so many people who lose loved ones while they're locked up. It's a very sad, sad situation. I know that for myself, if I knew about it and I knew the person well enough that I, played poker with him or pinochle, or, if it was my, my main guy that I worked out with and ate with and, things like this, depending on who it was depending on what type of reaction they got from me. You know what I mean? If it was, a random, hey man, I'm sorry for your loss, man. Keep your head up. And that would be about it. You know what I mean? If it was somebody I knew a little bit better, I played poker with or pinochle with, kind of the same response, a little more, might ask them if there's anything I can do for them, if they need a phone call or something like that. You know what I mean? Depending on the person. And if somebody I really messed with, it would be, man, bro, let's go spin some laps on the track. Let's go sit at one of the tables and talk. I'm here for you if you need me. I got you. If you need a phone call, you got that coming. Whatever the case may be, let me know and I got you. You know what I mean? It's a big deal losing somebody that you really love and care about in prison. And I can't imagine what it would be like to lose my mom, period, right now, especially, you know what I mean? But in prison, I can only imagine the feelings that I would have, you know what I mean? And just thinking about I'm such a worthless son and this and that, and just beat myself up, man, you know what I mean, for being where I'm at. And I was so thankful I was out when all this happened, so thankful. And I told people that, I'm just happy that my mom, it saddens me and it hurts my heart that my mother's sick right now, but it makes me very happy that I'm out and I was able to fly down here and see her. You know what I mean? That was so important for me. My mom definitely has some health issues, but I was so happy I could be here. You know what I mean? So I encourage people, to, man, if you're living that life, man, if you're headed down that road, man, to really pay attention and think about the little things like this. You never know what's going to happen. You never know when your mom, your grandma, your daughter, your wife, your husband, your son, your aunt, your uncle, whoever that you're close with, you never know when them people are going to be in a car wreck, find out they got stage 4 cancer, find out they got end-stage congestive heart failure, end-stage COPD. You never know, man. You never know. So I challenge you and encourage you to stay in the right state of mind, and try to find a way out of whatever it is that you're into right now that's prohibiting you from living a positive lifestyle. You know, um, and tomorrow's not promised today, and tomorrow's not promised. You know what I mean? Ever, and you never know what's gonna happen today. So just, keep your head up and keep fighting through, and hopefully the words that I speak resonate somehow, and that you know it hits you somewhere. I don't wish that upon anybody. You know what I mean? I really don't. So as far as my channel and what's going on, I'm hoping to link up with some people. You know what I mean? Get the channel growing a little bit. I'm hoping to get some merchandise here really soon. Um, I I'm thinking about doing some coffee mugs that say validated on them. You know what I mean? Maybe some t-shirts that say validated. Um, and if anybody has any ideas, please, you know, drop them in the comments below. You can hit me up on Instagram, validated prison stories. So looking for ideas for merchandise, what people might like or whatnot. And man, if anybody, has a good story, please, get at me. Let me know. I would love to hear it. Love to, put it on the old YouTube and get it out there. So as long as it's positive, and definitely not here to glorify or make prison seem like it's something that it's not. You know what I mean? But definitely interested in hearing from people. Drop your comments down there. Let me know. And until next time, this is Jo. I'm signing off.